What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another Payne Plays Games videos. Alright guys, 2025 is ramping up to be one of the biggest years for mobile gaming and just gaming in general. We got a lot of big games coming down the pipe, and this is one of the ones I'm looking forward to most. If you have not heard of this is Game of Thrones Kingsroad coming 2025. As a matter of fact, also made by Netmarble, who makes all of our favorite solo leveling Arise game and the upcoming 7 Deadly Sins Origins. Now listen, I've been impressed with Netmarble's choices lately. They kind of fumbled a little bit with King Arthur, in my opinion. They should have never picked that one up. But this game here looks phenomenal. So I'm going to go through this with you guys with a fine-tooth comb so you guys understand what it's all about. Go through some of the classes, some of the trailers, and how you sign up for beta. So simply, first off, log in to the game site. So go to gameofthrones.netmarble.com/en. I'll put this in the link of the description, of course, and you guys can sign up for beta now. It will be coming out for PC, Apple, and for Android, so you guys can play it on mobile as well as the PC, obviously through the Netmarble app. All right, so if you sign up for beta, just got to click on this right over here. It'll ask you guys to put in your email address, and you guys are ready to go, and you might be chosen here to actually get in for the beta. Okay, you guys can click either the bottom or the top. You guys can see here the sign up options right there, and the beta will be going on in the US, Canada, Europe from January 16th to January the 22nd. So it's a very limited time beta, but one that we should all be very, very excited about. Okay, so there you guys go. Now the official trailer, of course, is available right here. You guys can watch it on YouTube. I am going to lower the volume here because it is copyright. We're just going to look through some of the gameplay footage, and this was actually shown in the Game Awards. It's one of the ones that were shown in the Game Awards. So you're essentially playing an original character, and you go alongside the storyline. You get to make choices, and you actually star. You're the star of the show alongside the cast. So Ned Stark, Jon Snow, Jaime Lannister, you name it. Everybody who's famous from all the way from Winterfell all the way over to King's Landing, all the way over to the Wall, and with the wildlings, everything about it is there, and you get to actually explore top to bottom everything about Game of Thrones and the Song of Ice and Fire. So I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan. I'm actually a bigger fan of the Song of Ice and Fire, with George R.R. Martin being the author. So this to me is right up my alley in terms of what I've been waiting for, because there's Lord Varys right there, and you guys can see it is based off of the HBO show. Okay, so keep that in mind. It's not going off the books. I think that's Drogon. So it is going, there's King's Landing right there. So there's Jaime Lannister, and of course you can see he's got the one arm missing, or the one hand missing, right? There's Cersei. So there's Jon Snow, and I think that's oh my god, what's his name? His best friend there, Sam. I was like, oh my god, what's his name? Tarly. Sam Tarly. I'm forgetting their names already. I haven't seen it for such a long time. There's some White Walkers there, so you guys can see the gameplay itself. This is just a trailer, but I'm going to show you guys some actual gameplay. So this is going to be probably one of the biggest titles coming out, especially for Game of Thrones, because there hasn't really been a Game of Thrones game done well yet. And this, I'm hoping, is something that will be done properly and will represent the Game of Thrones lore, and there's one of the White Walker giants, the Game of Thrones lore, including giving us fans of Game of Thrones something to look forward to, because it has been a long time since I've looked forward to anything Game of Thrones related. So let's go over some of this game overview. All right, so you guys can see here, King Robert Baratheon, first of his name, is dead. So you guys can see this is where the story starts. It is in fact starting as soon as Robert Baratheon dies, so not before that. As the Lannisters desperately cling to the Iron Throne, the war between those who would claim it for themselves hurtle towards its final act. The king's brother Stannis Baratheon gathers his forces for a final assault, while the vast frozen lands of North smolder after the betrayal of the Red Wedding. You guys can see a lot of this stuff. Like the Red Wedding was obviously brutal with Robb. When King squabble, it's the realm that bleeds, and while blacksmiths, farmers, and beggars suffer, the great houses of Westeros continue with their plot and schemes. And you guys can see here, right, what the lore essentially is. It gives you the story breakdown of where it kind of begins. And it's not at the beginning, because they obviously discussed the Red Wedding, but I'm hoping we get to see everything from the beginning with Robert Baratheon's passing, and then obviously the fight for the throne itself, right? To the far north, at the edge of civilization, stands the Wall. So you guys obviously know the wildlings are behind the Wall, as well as the White Walkers. Beyond it, thousands of wildlings band together in a desperate push to bring it down. Only the brothers of the Night Watch, sworn to protect the realm from what lies beyond, know the truth behind the wildlings' sudden panic. An enemy colder than death lurks in the darkest reaches beyond the Wall. Obviously the White Walkers in this case. Its undead armies march south without rest, but due to noble families of the Seven Kingdoms, the White Walkers are only a story, and the pleas of the Night Watch are no more than a distant whine. So you guys can see we do talk about the kingdoms, we do talk about the Wall and the White Walkers and the Wildlings, and then this is your house. Fortunately, there are still those who heed the Night Watch's call, so among them the head of the House Tyre, a minor house from the modest keep in the remote reaches of the north, so you are part of the Stark regime. While his sole heir slaughtered at the Red Wedding, his strength leaves his body and time running out, Merrick Tyre summons you, his illegitimate child, back to defend your ancestral home. For if the Night Watch falls, who will protect the realm from the winter coming? So, you are a bastard. Pretty much a Jon Snow kind of bastard going back in, okay? So that's kind of cool. And then here you go. One way or another, all of Westeros will still learn what you already know. Winter is coming and the dead follow in its wake. As the best hope in House Tyre and the Night's Watch, it falls upon you to obtain your father's name, ready your land for winter, and convince the nobles of Westeros that the White Walkers are no mere tales to frighten children. Rally support throughout the Seven Kingdoms, for when you play Game of Thrones, you live or you die. There is no middle ground. So it's a kind of a cool premise, right? You're almost a no-name house. You are a bastard child, very similar to Jon Snow's upbringing, and you are plunged into Westeros to try to align all of the, which is kind of cool because you guys know how it all works. That's kind of been the premise is the whole point is to make everybody band together against the White Walkers, but everyone's too busy squabbling, to get the Iron Throne and are not looking at the major threat. So it's kind of cool that they let us be an original character. There is no character design, but there are some character classes. So you guys can see there's a Knight class here, right? Practices the refined and balanced swordplay of a Westeros Knight. The Knight class displays a sophisticated fight style, using a longsword to dispatch enemies with precise and calculated swordsmanship. So this is going to be probably a tank class, I'd imagine. The sellsword is your brute class, which is your like a barbarian. Inspire the raw, destructive combat of wildlings and Dothraki. The sellsword class displays a brutal fighting style using massive two-handed axe. And you kind of see in the trailer, the actual hero here from the House Tyre is in fact a sellsword. Okay, so that's there. And then of course we have assassins from the Faceless Men, very similar to Arya Stark if you watch the show. Employs agile and precise attack reminiscent of those of the enigmatic Faceless Men. The assassin class displays a fierce fight style, wielding dual daggers and dexterous dance-like combat. So very, very cool to see the different classes. You guys can see you can be more of a child, maybe a teen, more of a barbarian, female or male, or someone who could probably pass for Dean Winchester yet again, or King Arthur, and then of course someone who kind of looks like a Cersei Lannister but with the short bob haircut and a little more manly. So there's that, and then of course there's the media. There's the official trailer and the G-Star trailer, which also was available I think during the games, and there's some news happening right here. Developers notes, you guys can read this, and it's actually pretty cool to see that it's coming out very, very soon. So there you guys have it. If you are not planning to play this, I think you're going to be missing out. This is going to be a massive, massive game. So I highly recommend click up for that sign up for beta. Try to get yourself in there with me. I'll be making some content on this game for sure. I am a massive, huge nerd for anything George R.R. Martin related to Song of Ice and Fire, and a massive, massive nerd for anything Game of Thrones related. As a matter of fact, I played every crappy Game of Thrones games, and I still to this day have been praying and hoping for a good one, and this might actually be it. This might be the one I've been waiting for. So guys, let me know if you plan to join. Hit me in the comment section. If you like the video, let me know as well too. I'm really, really looking forward to making content for this game when it is released. All right folks, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.